My name is Scott for SP Gaming, and we are back here in Prison Architect. It is day 32 on our second prison, and I have the valuation screen open. The prison is worth $930,000. So when we do start up the next prison, we'll be indeed able to start with that amount of money, which will allow us to really build up our third prison. And so, of the prison value, $452,019 in bricks and mortar, $249,575 in fixtures and fittings, $85,410 for stock and materials, $44,250 for staff. Prisoner capacity, 235 prisoners, is $117,500. That is, of course, $500 per prisoner cell. We have $36,718 cash on hand, and we have no bank loans. And starting grant, I'm not sure what that is, although typically I think you start it with $30,000. So anyway, yeah, about that. Safety and security, we indeed have no deaths or escapes in the last 24 hours. And yes, indeed, we recently had the execution. It is still here on the inmate status for death row. And so the Alpha 32 bug fix did resolve that issue where it would count towards your deaths in the last 24 hours. So fortunately, that's no longer an issue. Apparently, escapes in the last 24 hours, it must have been longer than 24 hours since we had the second grade escape where they escaped up here, and the two of the minimum security prisoners. So yeah, fortunately we don't have to deal with that, and if we had either one of these, we would not be able to sell our prison. And yes, indeed, minimum value over 50,000, accountant on site, at least 20 prisoners, no recent deaths, and no recent escapes. Yeah, we'll get $930,000 to get started on the next prison. This has been an interesting ride for at least this prison. I did 29 episodes in this prison, and we did 17 episodes in the first prison. What I have planned for this next upcoming prison, as I've mentioned in a previous episode, is approximately 500 to 1,000 prisoner capacity, and we'll see when we get there. I've planned ahead, and I have the potential to modularize the prison so that if I want to double the prison capacity, I can. I would just need to buy some extra land, but so far the plan I have in mind should be at least 500 prisoner capacity. That would include 140 low risk, 140 medium risk, 120, I believe, maximum security, and 60 supermax. It should also include 20 or 30, 20 or 30 protective custody, and I believe 8 or so death row. And yes, indeed, I haven't specifically planned to do cramped quarters or the reduce the minimum cell size, although I just might. It all depends. For the most part, though, I really don't care much for the small sizes or the minimum size. There's very little cell configurations that work. I could do a 1x3 where I have like the toilet at the end, and the two other slots are bed. And then the door, that is a little cramped, and I don't really want to have too many prisoner issues, so the standard cell size of 2x3 is what we're going to go with. And, for maybe those supermax prisoners, rather than giving them the rather spacious 3x3s, I might give them a 2x2. But we'll see. Anyway, yes indeed, I own 100% of my prison. And let's sell it. It has been sold. So we have 930,000 funds. We are going to play on a large map. And pretty much the same settings here. And what I don't want to do is generate forests, generate lakes. Yeah, these are, I believe, what lakes is still experimental. So, yeah. I did play one prison where I had a single water tile in the center of where my cell block was going to be. And so at that point, I think it was also a prison I had sold for like a couple $1,000s. A couple $100,000, and it was rather frustrating because I lost all that money because you can't regenerate the map and you're kind of screwed. So yeah, it kind of sucked for that respect. So I'm going to avoid doing lakes until they've resolved the issues or made it a little bit more stable or functional. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so we have $930,000 for the sale of the previous prison. We did get $35 for, of course, the time ticking over. And, of course, we have an additional $30,000 that we start out with. It's interesting that in the, and I don't think I have it yet, in the valuation, where it reduces your prison value by $50,000 for the starting grant. Since you only start with $30,000, that seems rather weird. Unless the extra $20,000 is for the land itself, which would make a bit of sense. Anyway, that's not really important. So this is the land that we do have available to us. And for this prison design I have developed, obviously what I'm going to need to do is have both the top land expansion and bottom land expansion. Until then, I can't really lay out the full prison. I did jump to a large map to roughly lay out where I'd want to have things. And currently, this is going to be the edge of the map. And yeah. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut and come back with the prison layout as I have planned. And then, like the first episode of my second prison, I will have the time lapse of me laying out the design at the end of the episode rather than in the middle here. Alright, so this is the rough design I plan to use for this prison. It has a main cell block in this area with 280 cells, and it can be divided in half for 140 low risk, 140 medium risk. And in the event I decide to double the capacity, what I'll do is I'll turn this all into, say, normal security prisoners. And over here, which I can purchase, I will basically duplicate this entire structure over here and get my low security prisoners over here. And so what I liked about the previous prison was my yard layout and design, where I have the showers here. I have also toilets, so that first thing in the morning I can send them to the yard. They can take care of any hygiene needs, they can take care of any toilet needs, they can take care of any recreation needs, environment needs, stuff like that right from the get-go, so that when it's time for breakfast, they can of course come to their nice big 280-seater canteen. This is the solitary space for this area, and I'll probably have a separate solitary for the maximum security, which is over here. And this is, I believe, 240. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 10, 20, 30 times 8 is 240 seating capacity in this canteen. And I have this laundry room is for this area, or this cell block, as well as reception. This is for the maximum security, which I'll plan to have. And yeah, I'm expanding here. And this was just a rough placement of where I'd probably want to have the cell blocks, but I'm going to have a lot more. Right now there's there's 6 cell blocks that are planned, and I'm looking to have probably 120 possibly 240 maximum security prisoners, so I'll have to end up doubling this, whether I do a long 20 cell block and have 40 prisoners per cell block, which could be kind of crazy. It all depends on how once I get access to this land, then yeah, I'll be able to sort things out. It'd be nice if we had the option of having an extra large map so that you can start off with even bigger, because large can be quite limiting, especially if you're planning to go big, as I am right here. And one thing I've decided is I'm going to stick with the standard size cells. I know I could probably pack more people in if I went with a 1x3, but I don't know offhand what the effect on their needs is, whether they'll need an even greater, freedom need, because they're cramped up even more. But I may decide to. I haven't really committed to that anyway, and regardless. So what I have here, laundry room. I'm planning to give them a library, and as far as I understand it, they do not actually need anyone that is educated to work in the library, and they pretty much just need. Basically, what happens if there's no one eligible to work in here, workmen will come, take books that have been sorted in another library. For instance, over here, that's their, where's their library? Did I not put a library in? Okay, well, yeah, I have plenty of space down here. As you can see, this is completely undefined. This is undefined as well, so I'll probably put a library in here. And, but, yeah. From what I understand, workmen will bring sorted books over to libraries that don't have anyone working there, so they'll at least be able to get some literacy. This is a common room for the Alcoholics program, and I plan to have 2 dedicated psychologists here for the maximum security needs, and I have 3 more psychologists parked here. This is a common corridor as well as this. I decided to make this a little bit larger because down here this is a kitchen, and I plan to this is just to provide access for the cooks to get the meals up to the maximum security in through here. But other than that, yeah, this is a common corridor. Reception is here. They come in, get fed through here. They also get fed up through here. This is my death row area, and it has 8 cells. They are 4x2 rather than the 3x3 I had. And so reception, this will probably be a holding cell. I don't know if I'll keep it like that, but prisoners will be here. This is, of course, the execution room. We have the death row appeal room, and it looks like, yeah, let's put that in there. Death row appeal, visitation. This is the main corridor in for guests. So rather than having, like I had before, one entry for up here, one entry down here, all guests, all visitors will come in through here, and there will be one, I was going to have one access point in here, and I was going to have 2 access points here, and then basically just regular doors, maybe staff doors, all depends. But my goal for this was to minimize the amount of doors that they had to actually walk through, so that hopefully they prioritize coming through here, up in through here, to get to the visitor rooms and all that, rather than coming through here and all that. This might be a little bit of an issue, as it is a chapel for the maximum security. This will be dedicated solely to maximum security. This is a much larger chapel, and if I recall, it is 15 by 12. Actually, no, 15 by 4. That is 60. This will do 180 prisoners, and this will do 80 prisoners, 10 by 4 and 10 by 4. So plenty of space for potential prisoners. And of course, if I plan to have, 240 maximum security prisoners, I'm going to want to have a decent amount of course, religious services. And of course, 280 over here. There's 240 spots here. That should be more than sufficient. And as you can see, I got a lot of space. I don't have any use for this space, so it all depends. Oh, bother. That's annoying. Yeah. You accidentally click and you drag out, or you clear all your freaking planning marks. Anyway. Alright about that. So yeah, death row in here, maximum security up there, everyone else through there, and I do not yet have a protective custody area. And what I will be doing down here is my office block, and I'm going with a little bit of a different design. And I think this is going to be, actually, yeah, should be a door here, should also be a door there. This is going to be a staff room. I'm probably also going to have a second staff room in here, but these are going to be offices. I'm just going to have them like this. This is the armory, security office in here, power and water. This is a classroom for the general population. Kitchen, of course, classroom there. Visitation rooms, 10 of them available for the general population. I had just realized that in this current design, the maximum security doesn't really have a visitation room, and I don't really want them coming through here. I want to keep them completely segregated away. So what I will probably do, which breaks my whole general single entrance in for visitors, is I'm just going to build a visitation room like right here. It's going to be visitation, and yeah, I'm going to do this like that, or something like that. Yeah, let's do something like that. And we'll have some, visitor tables here. They'll be close to the outside gates, but yeah, I'm gonna have to place those in. But I am going to have a few armed guards in here, just so that they don't get any ideas. And so visitors won't be tempted to walk through the rest of the prison. And I'm probably just going to have a secondary visitor access point here, just so that any visitors, parole and visitation. Actually, no, I designed this to be visitation. But yeah, they are going to need, oh bother. I'd already planned to have some visitation in here. That's right, it was parole. Let's change this up then, shall we? Oh yes. So I'm going to have something like that. Well, no. Yeah, something like... Let's give them 2 parole rooms. I'm just going to do this. So they'll have access in like this. Something like that. So they'll have parole room here. And I'll just airlock like this. Something like that. Unfortunately, having things segregated in their own nice little areas, it's a little bit hard to design it so that you can have a main corridor like I have. But I think I have most of my services, and yeah, this is pretty much the common corridor for guests. No prisoners will be allowed in here. It'll all be completely staff only. And yeah, this is the kennel, armory, security. Deliveries is down here. Obviously, where is it? Reception's up here, so the prison bus will come in here. It should not ever get stopped by delivery trucks, unless I happen to be doing a crap ton of building, which in that case there might be a crap ton of course, trucks. Garbage and exports at the very bottom, and a third power block here. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a power block here, power block there, and a third one there. Just because in the previous prison, which was, I don't know, on a medium map with one land expansion, I needed a third power block. Yeah. And I haven't even added the workshops, which I could add a couple workshops here. So let me know down in the comments what you think I should do with this space. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a change to this that I should make? Odds are it'll take me a while to build all this. I will probably do a lot of the building and initial stuff on camera, but I may skip later on down the road just to jump ahead. But we'll get through all this, and yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this description of this prison. Coming up next will be, of course, the time-lapse of me building what I have built so far. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Prison Architect, and of course, stay tuned for the time-lapse. Have a good day.